Hi, I'm Deon de Wet. People often ask me why I practice and teach Thai yoga massage. In this previously recorded video, I talk about the value that I provide to my clients and my students. Enjoy. So something that comes up every now and then is the question about why do I practice and teach Thai yoga therapy, Thai massage? And what is the value that I think that I provide to my clients as a practitioner and then to my students as a teacher? This answer to this question has very much to do with certain core values which I have incorporated into my detailed definition of the deonThai method of Thai yoga therapy. They're actually things that I've been operating on and using and striving for on the one hand, and then on the other hand, that striving to gain on the one hand, but then on the other hand, been striving to impart. These are things that have served me well, and when I have kept them in mind, and to the extent that I have not kept them in mind, I have had difficulties. So they are these four things, these four values. And the first one is maximizing mobility, which is one of the reasons why I'm so drawn to practices like yoga or Tai Chi or Qigong or Thai massage for that matter, because they all are very much done with the purpose and the intention of increasing movement. So it's a mindful approach to movement, and increasing mobility it comes about from this balance, or this harmony rather, between strength and flexibility. And whether we're talking about a mental state or a physical state, I think the same thing applies. We are as alive as we are mobile, whether that's in our minds or in our bodies. The other one is the clarification of consciousness, which to me gets into such a broad sphere, broad, very wide application, and most of the things that deal with awareness, being in the present moment, self-realization, wisdom teachings, whether they are embodied wisdom or whether they're more intellectual wisdom, even just figuring out how to program your TV's remote. All these things have to do with consciousness. So the more we study, the smarter we get, the more wisdom we get, the more awareness we get, and the clearer becomes our consciousness. I very much believe that we're not actually gaining consciousness, because I think that we pretty much have all the wisdom we'd ever need already on board. It's just a question of remembering or clarifying, cleaning up our instrument panel or our windshield or our visor through which we're looking. And to the extent that we can clarify, we get more conscious, and we get a better idea of how to operate optimally. So another factor that involves these core values is the one of cultivating compassion. Now, for me, compassion can have some very, people have talked about compassion in its different forms for eons, and there are many different approaches and ideas about what compassion means and how much compassion one should have and when you should have and not. Compassion on a more practical level has to do with how much do you care, or do you care? And we all care to some extent, because if we're alive, we have to care about something, at least eating or staying alive. But this compassion can definitely be cultivated and expanded, and the range of things that we care about and the degree of caring can be expanded. And of course this all ties into each other. So to the degree that we clarify our consciousness, I believe that we will be cultivating compassion, and also vice versa. As our cultivation of compassion goes up, we care more, so we're more interested, and we want to understand and be more present and more aware. Another aspect that I feel has always been a part of what I do and what I strive to is the generation of goodwill. Because to me, we don't live alone. We don't operate in isolation. One form of goodwill is financial energy, money. But I think in this day and age, we sometimes get a little bit too focused on that as being the only form of goodwill that we're interested in generating. And of course, it doesn't take much, to think about, to realize that support from your family, support from your neighbors, from your community, not just on a direct level as in a bartering economy, which is definitely something that's worth thinking about as well in this regard. Like, you can trade services, and sometimes you need help, and if you emanate a certain kind of, or vibrate at a certain level of contribution, I think this universe sort of works on exchange. Energy flow comes in, goes out. Even some of the definitions of karma, we reap what we sow. And I think all of us, to some extent or another, would like to sow more good so that we can reap some benefits, rather than have to deal with the negative consequences of some of our things that we've sown or put out into the world that may not have been as optimum for everybody involved. Thanks for watching this video. Right now, if you see a subscribe button on your screen, click it and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can also find the address in the text that accompanies this video. That address is www.youtube.com/C as in Charlie /deonThai Yoga.